tuned in to www.oghuskyradio.com. Broadcasting live from the east side of Los Angeles worldwide. Every Thursday night we go live, and people come to the east side of Los Angeles for these interviews. Why, I do not know, but they show up, so fuck it, we keep doing it, you know what I mean? I know if I didn't live here, I wouldn't be driving through these fucking gang-ridden streets just for an interview, but that's why you get more props, dog, you know what I mean? Go ahead and introduce yourself, man.
I'm Zipgun. I put out Zipgun magazine based out here in Los Angeles, but the magazine encompasses graffiti coverage from the Los Angeles all the way to the Bay Area.
Zipgunforlife.com. That's F-O-R with zipgunforlife.com. Also, zipgunforlife.bigcartel.com is where you could get your subscription or more than a subscription, back order, and what are we looking at?
T-shirts, stickers, you know, we periodically put out random little one-shot deals that are up there for like a week or two, and we take them down.
So what does a zip gun got to do with graffiti, man? That's like violence, man. Graff's all about art and uniting people, singing Kumbaya around a spray can garden or whatever other stuff people make up, you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, comparing a gun to the art that you see in the streets might seem a little bit contradictory, but I mean, just as far as like the concept of the zip gun goes, it's an improvised firearm. It's something that you're using to get across a message or just get attention for yourself, and you're just putting it together from whatever it is that you have close at hand. Graffiti's sort of the same thing. It's striving for attention. It's kind of trying to like get a point across or communicate a message, you know, making art on the spot with whatever it is you can get your hands on, whether it's paint, markers, pen. Yeah, it's kind of an awkward comparison with, like, you know, the gun being used to injure and kill people, but, you know, the art putting something up in the streets. But that's about as far as I can draw a comparison between the two.
How do you choose the artist or the art for that? Do you have like so many people contributing, or is it only what you'll see, or as far as, you know what I mean, what you put out?
Yeah, absolutely. I think I've been doing the magazine for about like 6 years now, and I just think that, you know, my tastes in graffiti have really kind of shifted and changed over time. I think when I first started doing it, I was really into like those 32 color pieces, and I just really was just disgusted with like throws and tags I saw on the streets. But, you know, over time, I really kind of developed an appreciation for that, because, you know, with you know, respect for the technical ability and being able to blend the color on all those pieces on the wall. But you see people going up on fire escapes, ledges, just these hot street side spots. You have to give some sort of respect to that too. And there's a certain energy and just vibe that you feel in a fat silver fill with a nice black outline around it that you're not going to get, whether it's at a legal wall or a permission spot. So that's what really appeals to me these days.
So you went the opposite way. Usually it's you start from here and get there. You kind of went the backwards way.
Yeah.
But with respect to the artists that are risking, right? In other words, risking their freedoms or even their lives for some, you know what I mean, to do it. So that's what you try to document more, as more of the active lifestyle, would you say?
That's kind of what it's becoming. I mean, in the beginning, I was really just about like documenting the images and the artwork that was behind, you know, that I saw. And then the deeper I got into it, you start making connections, getting to know people, you start getting introduced to folks, and you start seeing like all the different layers underneath graffiti. It was like peeling back an onion for me, and I found that to just be absolutely fascinating. I feel that just whatever lifestyle or actions that people are undertaking just behind the actual art you're seeing is just as fascinating, if not more, than the actual art itself.
How many photographers do you have working for you right now at this time?
I'm pretty much the only guy that like taking photos for the magazine. I mean, I would say that, you know, people submit photos here and there. If I'm having trouble getting together something for an interview, I'll put a call out and I'll say, hey, look, you know, here's a chance to get published, get a little credit in the magazine, send me some photos. Some of the people that I interview will also supplement their layouts with pictures that you know, they've taken.
Their personal archives or whatever.
Yeah.
Who are some of the people you've interviewed?
Well, last issue that we did, we had some real heavyweights from Los Angeles and the Bay Area. We had Haler, OTR, MQ, BBB, Skid DMS, and then, of course, Gusto BTM. So that was a pretty intense issue for me. Those were some of like the biggest names that I'd been had a chance to work with yet.
So you're from the Bay, residing in LA right now, though, right? But so then, does zipgunforlife.com document LA only now, or are you still doing the Bay too?
Yeah, still doing the Bay. I still find time to travel back and forth between the two cities fairly frequently. I would say there's more motivation for me to go up north right now, though, just because of the way that the scene is just completely exploded in the Bay
In
Area
what
right
sense? You're telling me that off there, but in what sense for the people that are in LA haven't had a chance to go up there? You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think in Los Angeles, you have these dedicated resources to fighting vandals, and there's a vandal squad down here. There's snitchy people. You have like helicopters flying overhead. It's a very difficult environment for people to really kind of get out, get up, and develop their style. Up north, with all the law enforcement cutbacks in the city of Oakland and the surrounding cities, it's just graffiti is at the bottom of the totem pole out there. And so people are just taking full advantage of that to go out and crush and kill. I mean, there's people from all over the United States that are moving out there right now just for the purpose of being able to take part in it. It's a war zone. It's the wild fucking West up there.
And if you're young and it sounds like outrageous, same thing happened like in Detroit too, you know what I mean? So like it's follow the trends. If this is something you really have to do, what he's saying is really true, you know what I mean? Like I know a few people personally who like upped up and moved because of that, you know what I mean? Just for that, to have that much freedom, you know what I mean? So
yeah, absolutely.
You definitely know what you're talking about, man. Zipgunforlife.com. Who's hitting in LA right now, man? Like from your what you see from the back of your lens, who's hitting right now?
Oh man, the first guy I'd like to shout out is Saute, the Top Gun billboard killer of Los Angeles right now. I mean, I know there's a lot of other people out there risking it to like get up and be seen on those ledges, but Saute has just been so consistent with his choice of billboards that he's hitting. The style is just crisp and clean every time. I mean, I would definitely be late for a job interview if it meant doing a U-turn to turn around and flick that guy's stuff. It's dope. There's a lot of young bucks downtown that are really been getting it. There's kids like Lucas and Borat that are on the come up. Those are young soldiers right there that are really like just doing gnarly, just street side spots. They're just like, how did you not get arrested doing a fill-in? Like 2 blocks down from the cop shop. A lot of those CBS guys. CBS has been recruiting pretty heavily lately.
Yeah.
They've been bringing on a lot of new members. So if you go up and down the Melrose alleyways, you're going to see like a lot of stuff from guys like Animal, 7Cs. Long-term friends of theirs such as Quaker also been coming down a lot and painting stuff. So, you just go to Venice too. You see like stuff coming in.
How much of your life are you dedicating to taking these pictures?
You know what? I would say any time outside of my normal working adult hours, I would say I'm either out on my bike or in somebody's car or out in the yard just constantly looking for fresh stuff because that's how you stay relevant.
And why do you do it? Are you documenting, or is it just like you found your niche, or?
I think first and foremost, I feel almost like a duty or a responsibility to document this like art movement because the style is constantly evolving, and I think people are going to want to be able to have a visual record of that years from now to see like, well, we made it to this certain point with these letter forms, and like, how did we get there? And it would be really nice just to be able to kind of go back and look at an ongoing record of that. I mean, I'm not the only person doing it, but at the same time, it's just I feel the personal obligation, and it's almost kind of an obsession too.
Yeah, I was gonna say because the obligation is more of the personal obligation.
Yeah. I mean, I was saying like I would miss a job interview to get a Saute pic. I mean, I've done stuff like that before. I've been late for dates. I've been late for work. I've blown off responsibilities just so I can go to a yard and take pictures.
Zipgunforlife.com. Zipgunforlife.com. Do you follow active writers? You get active shots too, or is it just pretty much documenting it as you go, as you see it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, especially, if I get to know somebody well and I earn their trust and, we get on a good sort of level where they feel comfortable bringing me out, I'll go on hot missions and I'll get really nice action shots. I post it up and now and again with A-Nice in downtown Los Angeles, and we'll walk around. He'll just be like, hey, hold on, let me catch this door really quick. He'll catch a nice streak on a fat, glossy black door and everything, and I'll just be there taking pictures of it. People look at us like, oh, it's live graffiti right now. They're documenting it.
Do artists hit you up? Are you open to that? Like artists hit you up like, yeah, I'm about to go, you know what I mean, do this mission, you know what I mean? I would love for you to document. Are you open to that, or?
I mean, it depends. If it's an established name and it's somebody I know, or I know people that don't know them, I'll be down to do it. But generally, if it's somebody that's just kind of hit me out of the blue and I don't know much about them other than their artwork, I probably won't do it. you know, I kind of have to know like the personality type of this writer that I'm getting involved with. Is this somebody where I'm going to be hiding under a fucking car until like 6 a.m. or is this just like, you know, catch a couple tags, get some drinks, you know? It goes both sides of the scale, I guess.
zipgunforlife.com. What makes you different from everyone else, though, man? Every man, anyone with an Instagram is taking pictures of Graph nowadays, dog. You know what I mean? I catch myself every, you know,
Sure.
here and there and shit, you know? So what makes you different from everyone else that's doing it?
Well, I think a lot of people just sort of like, they just want to capture the actual piece of graffiti itself. You know, they want to take a picture of the tag, but they don't really take into account what it is, you know, what the surrounding area is. You know, there was a guy I used to know in Sacramento that taught me anytime you take a picture of graffiti, you want to take the surrounding environment into account too, because that in itself tells a story and can give some sort of like feel or vibe between the actual piece of graffiti itself. I just take crisp, clear, balanced photos. You know, I take the time to edit them a little bit if necessary, and I try to balance my photography as well. I don't try to like play favorites with any particular crew or style. I mean, I'll post a couple pieces one day, some tags and fills the next. You know, it's
How far back do your archives go?
You know, they used to go back as far as like 1999.
Okay.
I remember I got into some shit with my dad in like 2001. He threw out a bunch of my hard copies and stuff after I moved out of the house. But I would say currently my archives go back as far as about like 02, 03.
02. LA Bay or just Bay Area?
Mostly hard copy stuff from the Bay Area around the early 2000s. But my sisters lived down here for a number of years, so in between coming back and visit her here, you know, I was starting to get pictures and stuff. Like I think some of the first things I got pictures of were like some KOG fills, like around Melrose and like CBS stuff. So.
From the photography now, is it event planning, right? Or is that just kind of like
something I'm moving into? Yeah.
So how does that work? Is it just you just rolling with as it comes, or because you're without like too much because you are on camera, you know what I mean? But you were active in Graph, and then the transition went into archiving it, right?
Yeah.
So this is just part of the next transition, or?
Yeah, I would say it's a natural progression for me. I mean, I used to write a lot in the early 2000s, and then, you know, never really got to the point where I felt like good enough where I should be out there taking substantial risks and like. So that's when I started channeling that want, desire into taking photos, making the magazine. And then last year, I had one of my first issue release parties at Art Primo, San Francisco. We followed up with that again just this past February for the issue 12 release, and both shows were really well received. There was a great turnout, there was a great vibe. It really helped extend the exposure for the magazine. And so with this show that we're having on the 28th, it's going to be the biggest undertaking that I've done yet.
Okay.
So
you got a beautiful spot, the KGB Gallery.
Yeah.
Located at 1640 North Spring Street. I'm sure everyone in LA knows where that place is at. If you don't, then kill yourself, because fuck, where the hell you been if you ain't been to the KGB? But what do you have going on the 28th? Man?
So what we're doing is we originally intended to be just like a lifestyle photography show there, but it's since grown to include what I consider to be very distinct and unique artists representing LA graffiti now. We have about 14 15 artists total, about 7 or 8 photographers, and then 7 graph writers. So part of the gallery is going to be divided up into photography walls for each photographer, and then each graph artist is going to be painting their own interpretation of what graffiti lifestyle means to them on the wall. The catch there being is that each artist is only going to be painting in red, black, white, and gray tones. So you have this sort of unique color theme. You have the theme of the show, and then the colors that are uniting everybody.
Nice.
Yeah.
And that'll be taking place June 28th at the KGB Gallery, 1640 North Spring Street. Zipgunforlife.com. You guys can catch up with that. But not just graph, though. The photography is also lifestyle. You're documenting a lot of, you're just telling me, urban culture.
Yeah.
Youth culture. What is it? Is it just, like I said, is that just part of the expansion of what you're doing? Or like, is there like a super mad plan that you're just not letting us in yet?
Yeah. Well, before I moved down here to Los Angeles, like really just a lot of like the back scene stuff really wasn't something I was focusing on. It was more along just capturing the graffiti. But moving down here to Los Angeles, there's like Rotting Fresh crew, my boys Deansky, Brain Freeze, Bong Rips in the Hood, Derek Perlman, Cocaine Niagua. I mean, these kids really just blew me away with their photography. It was like Terry Richards meets Larry Clark with a little bit of Hunter S. Thompson thrown in. I mean, it was just perfectly capturing this rebellious, destructive youth culture in all of its fucking glory. I mean, just catching energy right at the height of like, I'm gonna live forever. None of this has zero consequence to me.
I think part of capturing is being able to understand it or even living it. You know what I mean? That's what makes it to be access to it. You know what I mean? Because like I was going through Cocaine in Iowa today, man. I was like, man, it's just beautiful, man. You know what I mean? So
Right.
I definitely know what you're talking about. Go ahead and keep up the good work, man. Let them know where they could, all the good information, they get a hold of you and all that, man.
Yeah, absolutely. If you go on www.zipgunforlife.com, that's our main website. That's where we post most of our high-res photos. We have some exclusive online interviews there as well. The best place to get a hold of us these days is follow us on Instagram at zipgunforlife. That's where we're going to be posting most of the details about the show, as well as highlighting artists and photographers that are going to be participating in it leading up to that event. The event itself is going to be going from 8 p.m. to late. In addition to the art, we're going to be having a great lineup of DJs, including Barangadang, which is Adam and Romo from Ham on Everything. We're going to have AC, the PD, making an appearance. We've also got Vibes Patrol coming through as well. The beautiful Sumomo and Friends. The Colors book releases that night. Just tune into our Instagram, tune into our website.
zipgunforlife.com. Stay posted. We got Tyler, K2S STNUCA in the house. Interview up next. Stay posted. OJ.